pseudostratified epithelium. It looks like a compound epithelium. That's why this type of epithelium is called as a pseudostratified epithelium. Pseudostratified epithelium. Here the cells, all the cells are arranged from the basement membrane. All the cells are arranged from the basement membrane. But the nuclei are arranged in two rows. Nuclei arranged in two rows. Two rows. So this is a basement membrane. Basement membrane. All the cells which arise from the basement membrane. Some are long, some are short. So here the nuclei of the short cells are arranged in one row. The nuclei of long cells are arranged in another row. So when we see this tissue, we assume that it is a compound, but it is not a compound. It is a simple, so that it is a pseudostratified epithelium. This pseudostratified epithelium is seen in trachea and also epididymis. Trachea and epididymis. This is about pseudostratified epithelium. Next, last, glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. In columnar epithelium or cuboid epithelium, some cells get specialized to secrete some secretions. They are modified as a glands. That type of epithelium is called as a glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. So, in columnar or cuboid epithelium, some cells get specialized to secrete some secretions. That type of epithelium is called as a glandular epithelium. In glands are two types. Glands are two types. One is a unicellular glands and multicellular glands. In unicellular glands, the cells are present isolatedly. The cells which are present in unicellular glands, they are isolated. For example, goblet cells. Next, which are present in the gut. Next, in multicellular glands, the cells are arranged as clusters. That type of glands are called as a multicellular glands. For example, salivary glands. Glands are two types, unicellular and multicellular. In unicellular, the cells are isolated, cells are present. For example, goblet glands which are present in the gut. Next, multicellular. In multicellular, cells are arranged as a clusters. This type of glands are called as a multicellular glands. Example, salivary glands. Next, then, depending upon based on the mode of the pore of their secretion, these glands are further classified into two types. Mode of pouring their secretions. Glands further classified into two types. One is a exocrine. Next one is a endocrine. Based on mode of pouring their secretions, glands are classified into two types, exocrine and endocrine. These exocrine glands are called as a duct gland. The secretions of these glands reach to the one place to another place through the duct. For example, digestive glands. Next, in endocrine gland, ducts are absent. They are ductless gland. Their secretions are called as hormones. These hormones reach from endocrine gland to the target cells through the blood. So, the mode of pouring their secretions, glands further classified into two types, exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Exocrine glands are also called as a duct glands, endocrine glands are called as a ductless glands. In this duct gland, the secretions reach to the ducts, but here in endocrine gland, ducts are absent. Their secretions are called as a hormones. These hormones reach to the target cells to the blood. Example for exocrine. Exocrine is a digestive gland. Digestive glands, sweat glands like that. Wax glands, these are not. Next then, mode of secretion. Based on mode of secretion. Mode of secretion. Mode of secretion. These glands are classified into three types. One is a merocrine, second one is a apocrine, third one is a halocrine. In merocrine, when these gland pouring their secretions, the cell will not loss. Cell will not be damaged. The secretions comes out through the cells. This type of glands are called as a merocrine gland. Example, pancreas. Next, in apocrine gland. Apocrine gland, the apical part of the cell is pinched off with their secretion, That type of glands are called as a apocrine gland. For example, mammary glands. Next, halocrine gland. These secretions, when these secretions are released by the total loss of the cell will be disintegrate. The secretions comes out. That type of glands are called as a halocrine gland. Example, sebaceous glands. So, based on the mode of the secretions, the glands are the exocrine glands are classified into three types. One is a merocrine, second one is a apocrine, third one is a halocrine. In apocrine, the secretions comes out without any loss of the cell. That example is called as a pancreas. Here in merocrine, the secretions comes out without loss of any cell, and the example pancreas. In apocrine, the apical part of the cell is pinch off. The secretions comes out. That type of glands are called as apocrine. Example, mammary glands. Halocrine means during secretion the total cell will be disintegrate. That type of glands are called as halocrine gland. Example, sebaceous gland. This is about epithelial tissue. This connective tissue is most abundant and distributed tissue in higher vertebrates. It is most abundant and widely distributed tissue in higher vertebrates. This tissue bind and support the various tissues and organs. That's why this tissue is called as a connecting tissue. This tissue is origin from mesoderm. Mesoderm, origin from mesoderm. Origin from mesoderm. In this connecting tissue, cells are there. Cells and extracellular matrix is there. Extracellular matrix is there. Extracellular matrix. Next, in extracellular matrix, different types of fibers are there. Fibers and ground substance is there. Ground substance is there. In this ground substance, water, polysaccharides and proteins are there. Water, polysaccharides and protein is there. Next, these fibers give the strength, support and flexibility. Flexibility. Next, then, this connecting tissue is classified into three types. One is connecting tissue proper. Second one is a skeletal tissue. Third one is a fluid connecting tissue. One is a connecting tissue proper. Second one is a skeletal tissue. Third one is a fluid connecting tissue. So, connecting tissue is a most abundant and widely distributed tissue in higher vertebrates. This tissue bind and support the other tissues and organs. That's why this tissue is called as a connecting tissue. This connecting tissue is origin from mesoderm. In this connecting tissue, cells, extracellular matrix is there. In this extracellular matrix, different types of fibers are there and ground substance is there. In this ground substance, water, polysaccharides, proteins are there. Next, these fibers give the strength and support and flexibility. Next, then, these connecting tissue further classified into three types. One is a connecting tissue proper. Second one is a skeletal tissue. Third one is a fluid connecting tissue. First, we have to discuss about connecting tissue proper. Connecting tissue proper. This connecting tissue proper further classified into loose connecting tissue, dense connecting tissue. Loose connecting tissue and dense connecting tissue. The connecting tissue proper further classified into two types: loose connecting tissue, dense connecting tissue. And then first loose connecting tissue. In this loose connecting tissue, cells and fibers are arranged loosely in a semi-solid ground substance. Ground substance. So then these loose connecting tissue further classified into three types. That is areolar tissue, adipose tissue, next reticular tissue. In this loose connecting tissue, cells and fibers are arranged loosely in a semi-solid ground substance. Next then, these loose connecting tissue further classified into three types: areolar tissue, adipose tissue, reticular tissue. Areolar tissue. First, areolar tissue. This areolar tissue is most abundant tissue. It packs the organs. So this is a packing tissue. It is also called as a packing tissue. Next then, this tissue which is present beneath the skin is form a subcutaneous layer. Next then, in this areolar tissues, some cells are there, fibers are there. Fibers are there. In areolar tissue is most widely distributed abundant tissue. It packs the various tissues and organs, so it is called as a packing tissue. The areolar tissue which is present beneath the skin is formed subcutaneous layer. In this areolar tissue, cells are there and fibers are there. First, in areolar tissue, some cells are there. These cells are one is a fibroblast cells. Next, second one is a mast cells. Third one is a macrophages. Fourth one is a plasma cells. Third one, fifth one is a adipose cells. These are cells. One is a fibroblast cells, mast cells, macrophages, plasma cells, adipose cells. Next, first fibroblast cells. These are common cells. They produce fibers. Next, fibrocytes are the inactive cells. Mast cells. These mast cells produce heparin. Heparin is a anticoagulant, and histamine and bradykinin. They are vasodilators. They used to dilate the blood vessel. Vasodilators. Next then, serotonin. Serotonin is a vasoconstrictor. It is used to contract the blood vessels. So, the mast cells secrete heparin. Heparin is an anticoagulant. Next, this histamine and bradykinin. This histamine and bradykinin are vasodilators, and serotonin is a vasoconstrictor. Next, macrophages. Macrophages are amoeboid cells. They are phagocytic cells. They are amoeboid cells and phagocytic cells. They are called as internal scavengers. They derived from the monocyte. Monocytes is one type of white blood cells. They derived from the monocyte. When monocyte comes from extravascular area to the surrounding tissue, they are modified as a macrophages. Next, some macrophages are attached to tissue. They are called as histocytes. Some are wandering. They are called as wandering macrophages. Macrophages are amoeboid. Macrophages are amoeboid. They are phagocytic. They are called as internal scavengers. They derived from monocytes. Some macrophages are fixed with the tissues. So, they are called as a histocyte. Other are called as a wandering macrophages. Next, plasma cells. These plasma cell is derived from B lymphocytes. And they produce antibodies. And adipose cell. These adipose cells are used to store the fat material. So, these are the cells which are seen in areolar tissue. One is a fibroblast cell, second one is a mast cell, third one is a macrophages, fourth one is a plasma cell, fifth one is a adipose cells. Next then, fibers. In areolar tissue, three types of fibers are there. There is called as a collagen fibers, next elastic fibers, next reticular fibers. These collagen fibers and reticular fibers made up of with collagen protein. Next, elastin fibers made up of with elastin protein. These collagen fiber very strong. They resistant to the stress. Collagen fibers arranged as bundles. They are very strong. They are very resistant to the stress. Next, then, these reticular fibers are give support, strength, and support to some tissue, that is a lymphoidal tissue. Next, elastin fibers are seen in elastic cartilage and also ligaments. Elastic ligaments. So, in areolar tissue, three types of fibers are seen. They are collagen fibers, elastin fibers, reticular fibers. Collagen fibers and reticular fibers formed by collagen protein. Elastin fibers formed by elastin protein. Collagen fibers are arranged as a bundle. They are very strong. They are resistant to the stress. Next, then, this reticular fibers give the strength, support to the various some type of tissue, that is lymphoid organs, bone marrow, like that. Next, elastic fibers are seen in elastic cartilage and also elastic ligaments. This is about areolar tissue. Next, adipose tissue. This adipose tissue is a fat stored tissue. In this adipose tissue, so many adipocytes are there. Adipocytes are there. The adipose tissue which is present beneath the skin, that is a form thermal insulator. In aquatic mammals like a whale and sea cow, beneath the skin, this adipose tissue form blubber. In hump of camel is also this adipose tissue is present. Next, this adipose tissue which is present in the palm and sole, they act as a shock absorber. The excess nutrients which are not used immediately, they are converted into the fat and stored into the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is a fat storing tissue. In adipose tissue, so many adipocytes are there. Adipocytes are there. The adipose tissue which is present beneath the skin is form thermal insulator. In aquatic mammal like a whale and a sea cow, beneath the skin is blubber is formed by this adipose tissue. Next, in camels, hump is a form. Next then, in palm and sole, this adipose tissue is present. This adipose tissue is used as a shock absorber. Shock absorber. Next then, the excess nutrients which are not used immediately, they are converted into fat and they store in the adipose tissue. This adipose tissue is a two type. One is a white adipose tissue. White adipose tissue, that is a WAT. Right. Next, brown adipose tissue. Brown adipose tissue. Brown adipose tissue, that is a BAT. Brown adipose tissue. The white adipose tissue is abundant in the adults. In white adipose tissue, in adipocyte, one single larger lipid droplet is there. A single larger lipid droplet is there. That is a monolacunar. This white adipose tissue is metabolically inactive. Next then, brown adipose tissue is more abundant in infants and fetus and infant. This brown adipose tissue is more abundant. In adipocytes, so many small lipid droplets are there. In adipocytes, so many small, numerous smaller lipid droplets are there. That is a multilacunar, and more mitochondria is there. It is a metabolically active adipose tissue. It produces heat to maintain the body temperature of this fetus and infants. This is about adipose tissue. Next, reticular tissue. In this reticular tissue, specialized fibroblast cells are there. These fibroblast cells are called as reticular cells. These reticular cells produce this reticular tissue. This reticular fibers. These reticular fibers are branched. They form a network-like structure. They give support to the lymphoid organs such as bone marrow and lymph node, spleen, bone marrow and lymph nodes. So, in reticular tissue, some specialized fibroblast cells are there. They are called as reticular cells. They secrete reticular fibers. They are branched. They form a network. They give support to lymphoid organs such as bone marrow, spleen and lymph nodes. This reticular tissue is from reticular lamellae of basement membrane. Reticular lamellae of basement membrane. Next then, this is about loose connecting tissue. Next then, dense connecting tissue. In this dense connecting tissue, the cells are the fibers are arranged very densely. Here, very small amount of cells are there, small amount of ground substance, matrix is present. This dense connecting tissue is further classified into three types. One is a regular dense connecting tissue, irregular dense connecting tissue and elastic dense connecting tissue. In regular dense connecting tissue, here the fibers arranged as bundles. Parallel to each other. parallel to each other. So this type of dense connecting tissue is called as a regular dense connecting tissue. Example, tendon and ligaments. Tendon and ligaments. Regular dense connecting tissue, example tendon and ligament. Tendon is a one type of dense connecting regular dense connecting tissue which connect the bone to the muscle to the bone. Next, ligament is another regular dense connecting tissue. It connect two bones, bone to bone. That is called as a ligaments. So tendons and ligaments are a example for a regular dense connecting tissue. Irregular, these fibers are arranged irregularly. That type of dense connecting tissue is called as a irregular dense connecting tissue. This irregular dense connecting tissue is present periosteum, the outermost layer of the bone. Next, endosteum, the inner layer which line inside the lining the bone marrow. Periosteum and endosteum. Next, it is present in the joint capsule. Next, heart walls. So this is an example for a irregular dense connecting tissue. This irregular dense connecting tissue is seen periosteum, endosteum, and heart walls and joint capsules. Next, elastic dense connecting tissue. In elastic dense connecting tissue, many elastic fibers are there. Many elastic fibers are there. Elastic fibers. This type of dense elastic dense connecting tissue. Example. This is a present in arteries, vocal cords, vocal cords, and also it is present in elastic ligaments also. It is present in elastic dense connecting tissue is seen in arteries, vocal cords. Next, then elastic ligaments. This is about elastic dense connecting tissue. Loose connecting tissue and dense connecting tissue. In this loose connecting tissue, cells are fibers are arranged loosely. This loose connecting tissue further classified into areolar tissue, adipose tissue, reticular tissue. In areolar tissue, some cells are there. They are called as a fibroblast cells. They are a main cell to secrete fibers. The fibrocytes are inactive cells. Next, mast cells are there. These mast cells secrete heparin, that is a anticoagulant, and histamine and bradykinin. They are vasodilators. Serotonin, it is a vasoconstrictor.